Toby Kraft today. Toby's the CEO of Teren, located right here in Denver. Teren specializes in risk mitigation using the latest in geospatial software, drones, AI, and the like. And what they do is they help companies understand the true depth and potential risk to some big infrastructure projects. So I'm going to talk to Toby a little bit about how they're making some of this happen in the oil field and to what benefit. Toby, welcome.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jim.
Yeah. It's great news about Teren. I know you guys are all over the place doing all sorts of things, not only for oil and gas, but we're here at an oil and gas conference. So tell us a little bit about what Teren's doing here on the risk mitigation front.
Yeah, so our story really goes back to a couple of projects I worked on in the Marcellus Utica back in 2017, a couple of big CapEx pipeline projects, and working on those, I really discovered that there were some major environmental issues that these pipeline companies specifically were dealing with as it related to erosion, flooding, and landslides. At the time, we were working on a project basis using drones to help understand hydrology, landslides, things like that could impact asset integrity. Did a couple of projects for some big notable companies that then turned into, we want to get this kind of intelligence across our entire asset footprint in North America, and that led to our business really scaling and becoming what it is today.
Well, congratulations. That's no small feat. How about an example? I'm not sure people would really understand in the abstract what it is Teren does, but again, you've saved some companies literally tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah, so the market category that we like to think of is, especially as it relates to oil and gas infrastructure, is weather and outside force threats. So that's all the things, if you think of integrity management and smart pigs and tools that you run through the inside of pipelines to look for cracks, strain, deformation, things that could impact pipeline integrity. We're all the things from the outside in. So everything around the right-of-way, weather-induced floods, landslides, wildfires, things of that sort that could impact asset health and cause disruption.
Outstanding. I'm sure there's a level of sophistication between companies. What are the companies missing here in the equation in terms of what benefit Teren can bring to their operations and their cost structure and their risk mitigation?
Yeah, so we see folks on all sides of the normal distribution curve, and we like to say that our ideal customers are usually on both sides. We have the people that are working proactively to help develop comprehensive programs. They might have a team of full-time employees on staff that are looking at these things constantly, putting together operations and maintenance budgets to get out, fortify their assets from these types of threats, to where we don't think we have any threats, we're not really concerned about it, and oftentimes end up in some kind of reactive situation where then we get brought in and they become some of our best customers because we can help them come up to the middle part of that normal distribution curve where they have a more comprehensive program in place that helps them do this and be more efficient with those precious operations dollars.
So you're in the ounce of prevention versus a pound of cure business.
That's right. We deal with both ends, but we like to lead everybody toward the more proactive mitigation side of things. And more of our mature customers, that's what you see. They'll start to leverage our data to help get out, do more planning, and reduce these more costly events when they do occur.
Well, as you know, we've got a room full of operators here, and of course they are always moving the critical path forward on building the projects. How do you integrate Teren into that sort of planning?
Yeah, so oftentimes when we get involved on the CapEx side of things on new projects, that can start as soon as we're looking at building a new development and we want to understand before we do anything, before we purchase land or get project financing, we want to understand what we're building in. And so we can help up front in the diligence phase of understand, okay, we've all seen now the 100-year flood is more like the 10-year flood. They seem to be happening more frequently. And so helping operators understand, where those areas are that are going to be vulnerable so they don't put assets there in the first place. And that's also becoming a bigger requirement by insurance companies in order to secure project financing. They're putting more pressure on developers to better understand the environment and the geography that they're building assets in.
So is Teren then kind of between the insurance companies and the operator? I mean, I'm sure that is where a big cost concern is in terms of cost of operating and building.
Exactly, yeah, and that's probably some of the more advanced stuff that we've been working on over time. It really started with more boots on the ground, how we can save on operations and maintenance costs, and those very tangible, steel toe boots costs that you have out in the field with civil and those types of things, to now we're working more as a liaison, as you mentioned, between the oil and gas company and the insurer to help the insurer become more comfortable underwriting those assets and the geographies that they're in.
Okay. Two-part question to wrap it up. What other industrial sectors are you in, number one? Number two, how about a case study so that people can really understand what Teren has done for a particular client?
Yeah, so two other market segments that we work in are investor-owned utilities, which is a close cousin and in many ways very akin to a lot of the oil and gas companies that we see here, if they're not the one and the same. And then the other is we work with the government on a lot of disaster response. So post-wildfire, understanding the fires usually, what do they say? It's the bulk of the P&C, the property and casualty claims after a wildfire, oftentimes aren't the fire itself. It's actually the floods and debris flows that happen after the wildfire. So we work very closely with the USDA, the U.S. Forest Service, to help develop models that help them better understand where to mitigate the landscape to prevent those large P&C losses to critical assets and infrastructure.
And an example would be?
Yeah, so an example of a case study would be, I'll use sort of our flagship. This was a big moment for us as a company. We did a study for a major pipeline operator to help understand landslide risk across their asset footprint. We found a couple of locations that were in the higher than 99th percentile of landslide risk. At the time, there wasn't really anything in place. There wasn't a programmatic approach to how to deal with this data. So it was sort of a thank you for a job well done. Fast forward 7 months, the data sat on the shelf. That operator, that location received 7 inches of rain overnight, and that whole landslide came down, blew up the pipeline, blew up a house, didn't kill anyone, but that company lost 20% market cap during that time period. It launched criminal investigations, and they subsequently became one of our best customers and now have one of the more proactive, comprehensive programs in the industry.
A cautionary tale from Toby Kraft, the CEO of Teren right here in Denver, Colorado. Your website quickly?
Teren4D.com.
4D.
Yep.
As in 4 dimensions.
Teren, the number 4, D as in dog.com.
Thank you, Toby.
You bet. Thank you.
Nice work.